told people that I was going to interview you, basically the response was as if I'd said, oh, I just got the first interview with the new Pope. People literally lost their shit because you are so beloved and people adore you in a way that's so extraordinary. And I thought we should unpack that, we should analyze that. What is it about you and the roles you played that have secured your place in people's hearts in that way, that be beyond anyone else? Unpack it, girl.
Did you bring your jammies? How long do you have?
All night.
Well, I think my commitment to film, cinema. I left Colorado from pre-med to go to start film school in Los Angeles, and I was too poor. And I wore Goodwill clothing. It was good. It was great. I had great clothes. Rustic. I still have them on. No. Anyway, and
rustic glamour.
Yeah, absolutely. So when Roger Corman was trying to convince me to leave my jobs to do a film, Big Dollhouse, for Jack Hill, and Jack Hill and Roger Corman loved European films, and they were very prolific in promoting women's independence, women's liberation movement, equality in Europe. And I was having some personal drama. You know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was trying to get me to marry, convert to Islam, and have children. But he said I could go to school and have kids too. Are you crack? He's on crack. Come on now. You know, he thought he was gonna sex me up. Yeah, I'm gonna have a baby and go to school. And they said, we can have as many children you want, and you can approve my second wife. What the? Are there any children in here? Okay, I can say fuck. And that's cinema. So I said, and I had a third attack, which wasn't in the book because the publisher was concerned that there'd be too much rape in my book. Sorry. And the third rape didn't happen, but I fought. And that day I walked down Holloway Boulevard, which is going to be in the film, down Sunset Boulevard, raving maniac because he made me late for my job, and he was supposed to mentor me, and he almost hurt me, and I was so mad at the world continuing to oppress me and not allow me to be free. And it was a women's movement. Gloria Steinem and Rosa Parks and Bella Abzug, they were like really trying to break the mold and wake women up, wake society up for women's equality. And I walked down Sunset Boulevard, a raving maniac. I was just mad because he made me late for work. But he hurt me. And then that's the day I decided, John Gaines, my fairy gay mother, the agent, who said Roger Corman is looking for an in-your-face actress. Pam, do you think you might want to act? And I said, yeah, that day, I'll take it. I want to get out of here. I want to go do a film and make more money than my 5 jobs making $140, and Roger Corman's going to give me $600 a week for 6 weeks. And I said, Roger, I can't be fired. I cannot be fired. I don't know how to be an actress. I just look cute to you. But he says, but there's something real. You don't have on blue eyeshadow. You're not overly polished. You're raw. I will make sure that I don't fire you. Read this book, The Actor Prepares by Konstantin Stanislavski. And I took that book with me to the Philippines. And when I put on that T-shirt, and it was wet, I was in Chekhov. They said, I raised the bar. You got that right. And they said, oh, Pam, it's a B movie. You don't need to learn your lines. Just learn it right before in the morning. I came gunning. Yeah. Chekhov says, smack the bitch. You know what I did. I threw her ass in the mud. I smacked her 2 or 3 times. They said, get off her, Pam. But look, you look really real. It looks like you've done this before. Yes, I had.
See, I think that's the essence of why people love you. You're a survivor and you're empowered, right?
And I have to do the work.
Yeah,
I didn't get
creative.
A chance to go to Juilliard or the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. You know, I came in the back door, and I appreciate the work and the craft. you know, and the commitment. And I can't help if I had breasts, long legs, and my grandfather,
That
the
brings
first
us to the
feminist
next
in my
question,
life,
you know?
he taught me how to hunt, fish, and shoot, and I did it with Stanislavski in mind.
Yeah, you're an incredible paradox there of like gorgeous things. But anyway, it was preparing for this during my research was so incredible, right? Aren't you jealous? I got to sit and watch clips all week.
Oh my God, you'll never recover.
Never.
You'll
But
never be the
you know,
same.
I saw in coffee, you're putting razor blades in your wig and beating the shit
was
out
real.
of those girls.
That's what the girls
What
in,
about when you
in
mashed
in-
the salad
hey.
into that girl's face?
Oh, food fight all the time at home. Are you kidding me? But back in Denver, I grew up in a rural environment and an urban and military. And the urban were gangs, and the girls put razor blades in their fros and in their hair, and they threw battery acid at each other to start their fight. So, you know, that was quite famous. But I learned how to do that, and I brought that to film and made Jack Hill look like, well, he was white bread, he looked like toast when I got through with him. I was like, wow, I did that. I put the razor blades in the hair. No, Jack, you asked me to bring authenticity to the role, and I did.
See, when I was watching some of the clips, a lot of it is so outrageous. It's just great. You're just loving it. It's like a roller coaster. And then when you're tied to that bed and they're injecting you with smack and you look really uncomfortable and blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at that thinking, I wonder what Pam feels when she sees scenes like that where you're being degraded. How does that feel?
I relived the first time I was raped at 6.
That's what, yeah. How is that? I mean, what does that feel like?
Very, very disturbing. But I brought the work. I brought the work to the work, my life. I had to bring it.
And was that therapeutic?
I had to bring it. Pardon?
Was that therapeutic to relive it?
Cathartic? No, it wasn't. There's scars. I'm empathetic. I fight for the rights of women and for rape and abuse. I'm, you know, very moved. Matter of fact, people have to say, Pam, let's leave the room, because you might say something. You might hurt somebody. Let's go. But I bring those experiences as the actor to my work. And people ask me, as we just finished the script for the biopic of Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts, what actress do I see playing me? I won't know that, because I won't know who will be able to relive, who will be able to do that emotional work. And many of you are actors, actresses. You know what it's like doing a workshop. And you've encountered, experienced something in your life. You said, I have to do this on stage again. I don't know. I don't know if I can go there. So it's going to be an actress who can, whether she's had something happen to her or not, she's got to bring it. And I won't know who that is. And it'll be between that actor and the director. It's private. It's going to be very interesting. Because at 6, there'll be implication. We won't show a lot, I'm sure. It's very disturbing. And at 19, in Colorado, I think a lot of women will understand, relate to it. It'll be interesting how it'll be shot. And then the third attack, how I fought, almost broke my neck. But I made sure I wasn't going to be raped. I said, I'm going to kill somebody today. And I walked down Sunset Boulevard, you know, triumphant. That was the moment. Some of the writers, they said, yeah, that's the walk. That's going to walk, that's going to tell it all. So was it cathartic? Yes, but you never forget that.
Yeah.
You really don't. And if I have to do it again, I hope I can. I won't know until I meet the director or audition. I won't know if I can. It'd be great if I can, but I won't know that until the right moment. As the actor knows, you know what your limitations are.
Speaking of pain, as a proud black woman, busting taboos, breaking new ground, you must have faced discrimination. Was there a moment when you just thought, okay, I'm going to snap and turn into coffee right now? And did you?
You have a crystal ball. You know me, don't you? You know I snap.
To give us a story of when you snapped and went postal. Because that would be kind of great to hear, right?
in some of the films I have snapped.
No, in the movies, hello, I want a real life story where you just went off.
Yes, and they say, Pam, stop hitting
But with
her.
legitimate...
Stanislavski told me to smack the bitch. And I did.
You do look very, in Coffee at the buffet.
Yes.
How many dresses did you rip off those girls?
Not many. Usually it's one take. The stunt people.
But there's about 12 girls, though. And each
we
one
only
had
did it really one time. They're
Really?
very, very prepared. They honor their craft, the stunt people. They know what they're doing.
That's
and
a great scene.
They really teach you. So no one is injured. You don't want to injure
Was
the
it
actor.
fun to film that part of it? It must.
No,
it
it was sticky and messy, you know. No, but a lot of, there were other actresses up for Coffee, but they couldn't handle confrontation and physical confrontation or the fight scenes or handling a gun. And they went through a lot of actresses who just weren't ready at that time. And I felt very comfortable.
Because of the hunting and shooting and fishing.
The hunting and shooting and fishing.
Yeah. You do look very comfortable with a gun.
I don't blink.
Mm.
People go, pow. I'm like, okay. Bothers me. And they breathe. They're not supposed to breathe. You know, hold your breath when you squeeze the trigger or you miss, you know. But I skeet, shoot. You know, we have supermarkets now. You know, we can go there, you know. But, good. But my grandfather was a great eye. He was also teaching us archery, you know, up in the, he's from the Black West, so, and my great-grandmother had a hotel for the blacks and the Chinese that worked on the railroad. And so we remember a lot of that, the Underground Railroad. They had a house that was, had an outhouse and a rope from the house to the outhouse and a rope from the outhouse to the barn. I remember as a little girl, and I was just enchanted by that purity.
Incredible. So, your personal life, we keep this real simple.
I don't have one. It's a dog and horsehair.
But we'll just play word association. I'm going to say 3 men's names, and you're going to say the first word that pops into your head. Right? Just keep it, we'll keep it simple.
No sign language?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Like I said, no sign. I'll let you sit on my hands.
First word.
Jazz music, our sharing of international culture and jazz music.
Really?
Yes.
Groovy.
I know you want to hear something else.
No.
Remember basketball players wore them little shorts to play basketball? And we waited for them to bend over. And now they're at the knees, they look like culottes. I pay good money to go see culottes.
Bring back the short shorts, right? I'm
Remember
with
the
you, Pam.
76ers, Dr. J and the muscles in the behind and stuff like that. And you're like, ooh, I'm not watching the game at all. We just go to see the muscles and the legs, didn't we? Can we tell him?
Next. Ready? Richard Pryor.
He thought I was crazier than he was.
One word.
Crazy. No, fun. Richard Pryor, he was a purist.
Well, those of you who haven't yet read Pam's book will, of course, be coming to the book signing tomorrow to get your signed copy. It's so major and great, this book, and there's a fabulous story in there about you and Richard Pryor taking a horse to a vet in a town car. And
No, it's my Jaguar, the back seat.
Right.
I don't know if you know, are familiar with Richard Pryor's legacy, the Mudbone legacy, in that nigga's crazy. Ginger was the horse that Mudbone owned when he went to pick up the big, heavy, as he called it, pork chop eating bitch from Mississippi at the State Depot. So Ginger was given to him by Bert Sugarman. And Ginger was this pony, this large, gorgeous horse that Richard loved animals. And he thought that's how he would hook me with horses, because he knows I love horses. The horse was attacked. We didn't have a horse trailer or a truck to take to the vet. The vet couldn't come. So Richard was trying to go cold turkey with me, and I would be a clean influence to him. And I got to see a pure Richard Pryor, pure side. So the horse was bleeding, was going to shock. I say, Richard, we got to get him to the vet. Come on, let's put him in my car. He's in a bathrobe crying, in house shoes. I said, come on, push her, I'll pull. So I went through the back of the car. She kneeled on the back seat, head out one side, tail out the other. We closed the door. We head down to 405. The pipes are banging, sparks are flying. And white people going, there's 2 Negroes in the Jaguar. Are you coming up to see this? And they follow us like, oh my God. And who's the bitch driving? She crazy. And then that Richard crying in the bathroom. Yeah, I got the horse there. And they stitched her up. We brought her home, and she peed. As soon as we got into the back, 2 gallons. Richard started laughing. He fell on the ground laughing and crying. He said, you crazy. You crazier than I am. He said, you crazy. That's why I love you.
Oh, that's a lovely story.
He's pure. He was a purist.
Last gentleman, Freddie Prinze.
A prince. Freddie, we met during the Herb Cups in the show. And he had seen Coffee. And he, of course, he's going to rib me. Yeah, Coffee, yes, she'll cream you. Freddie studied ballet and dance and was wonderful. And we started dating. I went to the comedy club, saw him, and he was really in a good place for me in the beginning of his career. And he taught me a lot. He said, you should do Broadway. You should do Broadway. You just have this energy. And he would dance. He would do ballet. And he would do...
And he wasn't a lesbian?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He was fantastic. He was a Hungarian. And...
just the ballet.
We shared.
Me off a bit.
You would think, but ballet and dance, and his mom wanted.
All your men sound great. It's like that's.
But you ought to hear. He got me dressed up for the NAACP award, Image Awards. I was the host the year before it went to television, and so blaxploitation didn't bother them. Anyway, so I had this chubby fur on. He said, wear your hair this way, put it to the side, wear that dress. And he was in this fabulous tuxedo. There's a picture of us together in Jet Magazine that's on the internet of us coming to the event. And he's
Isn't that in your book?
So, yes.
Yeah.
He's so gorgeous. So after we got dressed, there was some Earth, Wind, and Fire song that came on. That's the Way of the World. And he started dancing. And we started doing a Fred and Ginger. Ballroom dancing her down the hallway through the living room until we started getting sweaty. And he was just breathtaking. He was so wonderful.
Oh, that's very groovy.
And he was very, 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 very special.
A gent.
And I talked to him 3 days before he took his life. He had called me, reaching out to me. And it was a day that I went over to the hotel on the Beverly, Wilshire, and I just fell to the ground. And I just felt his soul was there, leaving. He was alone, and it was very heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But he was a prince. He was magic.
And speaking of hair, because you did mention he was fixing your hair, I think do we have more time, or are you doing that? 5 more minutes. Okay, let's get to something deeply profound.
Oh, I like it.
The fro. Let's talk about afros, because in Blackula you've got the shorter fro, and then in Coffee we've got a longer fro. Which did you prefer? Which was a wig? And why isn't there afros now? Why isn't everyone with an afro? What happened?
Hey, if you guys in the
Let's
front
talk
row had
afros.
Okay, now the people behind you cannot
Stand
see the
up,
movie.
darling. You look so gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And usually on Saturdays, I have Afro Saturday, Free Your Fro on my Twitter. You know, let your dreads down, free your fro, let your curls and locks, really loose. But it started fights in the movies.
Really? Oh, right.
Somebody behind you says, excuse me. And you know if they touch your fro, it's a fight. And where did it happen? In New York City. I was at a movie, seeing a movie, and the people were upset. We can't fucking see. You know New Yorkers. Their damn ass big head is in the way. We can't see. And they're not going to, I'm not moving. And so they try to part your hair, or their hand and give a karate chop to it, or, and you're like this, and everybody, and once you move, then the whole roll's that way, and you move this way, and they go that way. And so people are like, my back is hurting. I'm trying to see. So You try to think, you don't wear it to the movies, you can wear it home or go out to the club, you know, and be fly. But you have
As
to
a little white dude, I'm a little white dude, in case you hadn't noticed, I have a very sort of romantic idea about Afros, because I came to America in the 70s, turned on the TV, it was Soul Train, Don Cornelius,
Absolutely.
I was there.
Or Erykah Badu.
Yeah, and it was such a stylish, liberated moment of glamorous Afrocentricity. It was like black culture exploding, and that was the
Pop
most...
culture was
Yeah, Angela Davis, the whole thing. So,
you can still
like,
wear it today.
the fact that they went away, with a few notable exceptions, and I do say notable.
Well,
Right?
sometimes it's a political statement and it frightens people.
Right.
You know, and also for the convenience of.
Do you think it symbolizes angry black person, angry black woman?
It could. It depends on the perspective of the person who's judging that it's an angry black person. But if they only knew what it's like to keep your fro. And because when you sleep on it, it's all lopsided, try to pull that shit out. Afro pick ain't gonna do it. You gotta get a kitchen for it. You gotta wet it, you gotta work out. It's like an hour and a half trying to get your fro right. So and then your headrest in your car leaves this big, huge gash in the back of your head. You look whack when you go inside. Like, what happened to your head? It's not round. It's like somebody cut a donut out your head. You know what I'm talking about? Car to keep your fro. You know, the wind blows it and stuff is all over the place. You go, you thought you were flying cute, and it was going, look at your head, it's all wired.
So, one final, let's end with a little Jackie Brown story, since that's the movie that the guys are going to watch. A little Jackie Brown, well, a little saucy reminiscence of Jackie Brown.
They're all saucy. You want to
Jackie
hear
Brown moment?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think that the one that was most extraordinary, my book, in many instances, chapters, the writers were sitting, they came to Colorado for 2 months to write with me every day. And I had a couple of surgeries on my thyroid, and I was sitting there all taped up and stuff, and they were like, this is Forrest Gumpian. You have some really Gumpian things in your book that happens to you. And I said, yeah. So Warrington Hudlin, who's also going to be a moderator, I think Saturday, he and I were dating, and we were driving down Hollywood. He doesn't drive, he's a New Yorker. It's great because he can't drive. I can, you know, I'm alive because I drove. And so he says, you know, Pam, you know, we're just talking, and he's doing deals with Reginald Hudlin, his brother, the Hudlin brothers, and he says, you know, Quentin Tarantino, I heard, rumor has it that he's going to write a screenplay, a movie for you. Yeah, right. Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, sure. The hippest, coolest pop culture director, you know, living somewhere large here in California, sure. And he says, no, I heard it. So we're stuck in traffic on Hollywood Boulevard going over to Universal Studios. And Warrington says, hey, you're not going to believe this. I went, what? He said, that's Quentin Tarantino. I'm going, really? He's macking to that blonde? He's got on some shorts and a T-shirt, no shoes? Really? And it was. I recognized his face. And I'm saying, really? Wow. He says, we were just talking about him. That Gumpian thing. So Warren says, hey, Quentin, Q, come on over. Quentin, come on. Quentin goes, yeah, these Negroes are calling me over. Let me So he comes over to the car, and Reggie, Warren says, hey, Quentin, hi, it's Reginald Hudlin. How you doing? He says, and Quentin knows of his work. He goes, oh, man, hi, how you doing, man? And you know how fast he talks. And Reggie says, hey, and this is Pam Grier. And Quentin literally elevates 2 feet off the ground. oh, motherfucker, it's for real. Oh, my God, he comes around the car and says, hey, oh, my God, I can't wait to say, you know, I love you so much, you know. I watched Foxy Brown 1,000 times. I used to work in the video show. I said, I'm writing a movie for you.
That must have felt
yeah,
good.
right.
That felt
You know how many
good.
times people say they write a movie for me? So he says, no, really, I am. I'm writing a movie based on Rum Punch, and it's going to be my Foxy Brown, and I'm writing it now, and I'll be finished, and I'll send it to you. And he says, I can't believe I'm bumping into you. I said, I can't believe this either. This is like that Forrest Gump movie, you know, like the feather and shit. So this is very, very cool. I said, but you know, if you don't, it's okay. No pressure. No pressure at all. 2 months later, I receive a manila envelope in the mail. Now, the post office has been saying 44 cents due. 44 cents due. We're going to send it back. 44 cents due. Okay, I taped the pennies to the paper. 44 cents to the paper. And then I went, and they dropped off this manila envelope, and it said Tarantino. I went, oh my God. I opened it. There was Jackie Brown. Tears started flowing down my face. Oh, he doesn't have the money. I had to pay 44 cents. He's a gazillionaire. And I had to pay 44 cents, and they almost took it back.
Did you tell him? Did you ever get that money?
I told him at MoMA, we had with Elvis Mitchell, we had a sit down. And I just laughed. I said, I can't believe it. He did it. He invested 2 years of his life to write that for me. And he could have written for anyone, and there it was. And he said, well, I'm glad you like it. I was about to give it up and do another movie because we're going to start. It's a 10-week budget, and we're going to rehearse, and we're going to start in 2 months. You want to do it? You really want to? I said, I want to do it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And I didn't even realize the magnitude of his success. It wasn't about that. It was about, as I was reading it, it's really good. And he had 4 storylines. He said, now, I'm going to need complete concentration from you. I might get lost along the way. We're shooting out of context, shooting out of sequence. So in my hotel room, I had the overall story of it, first, second, third act, beginning. Then I had the story between me and Ordell, the story between me and Michael Keaton, the story between me and Max Cherry. And we're shooting all out of context. I don't know where the fuck I am. He says, Pam, where are we? Have you played this emotion yet? Have we done that? I said, I don't know. Let me come back and look at the wall. No, we haven't played that, so I can't react to that yet. He says, okay, I know we'll shoot. He would play music, and some days he would have skirt day, and all the crew members would wear dresses and skirts. I have pictures. It was extraordinary. So I was so not, and everyone said, do you know, pinch yourself. It's Quentin Tarantino, pinch yourself. I said, I am. And I still every day don't realize, you know, he's not this god. He's just this
a man in a skirt.
A man in a skirt, and he wore a kilt. He wore a kilt. It was a girls' school plaid skirt and a blazer.
They're waving at me, Pam. They're waving at me to wrap it up. And
oh, so much fun. He was so much fun.
You're incredible. We love you. And you are the chick with drive who don't take my money. It sounds so stalky.
Girls don't want their money back. I like your ass. You can't act. I got better than you. And they'll come up in your face, too, and tell you. Yes, they will. So, yes, thank you so
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Thank you.